Hello everybody, welcome to this instruction video. In this video I'd like to show you how to make part 3 of the crochet along I Want That bag. In this part we'll be making weave stitch, cable stitch and star stitch patterns. I'll be using a 5mm crochet hook together with Scheepjes Bloem cotton yarn. The original pattern you can find online on the designer's website, justagirlandahook.com, and it's been designed by Kimberly Slifer. I hope I say her name correctly, because I do find that a difficult name to pronounce if I'm honest. So I'll be taking you step by step through the pattern making up this week. I hope it's a useful video for you. Thank you for watching. Round 15, I have a new color yarn on my hook. In this round we're going to work a double crochet in each and every stitch. Now, as such, the pattern says to start in the stitch that contains your slip stitch join. That's this stitch here for me. But if you want to, you can also start on any other position around, because it is as such all the same. You're going to work a double crochet on every stitch. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start on slightly a different position and any arbitrary position, so that when I get here I can easily take this yarn with me. So with yarn on my hook, I'm going to start with a standing double crochet, and you either start in the join with the slip stitch or any other stitch you like. I'm going to pick this stitch here and start with a standing double crochet, and then on every stitch you continue to work a double crochet. And what I'm going to do when I get to the join is I'm going to take that yarn with me, so then I have less ends that I need to work in at the end of the line. So that's simply making life a little bit easier for me. So continue, go all the way around with this double crochet on each and every stitch, and when you get to the beginning you close with a slip stitch on this first standing double crochet that you made here. So on the top of that stitch you close with a slip stitch, and you can see I'm almost to the join here. Just like to show you how to deal with that join. You don't because it can be easy to add a stitch there, although you didn't mean to, because sometimes the slip stitch gives the impression that there are two stitches where actually it is just the one. So it's always something to be aware of, that can happen. So you see I've got two more stitches here. That's this stitch and then next it's this one here. This is the stitch just before the join, and then on the join itself this stitch actually contains two halves. Here's a loop from the slip stitch join, and this is the loop from the stitch that it's made in. And I'm only going to make, so I'm not going to make one here and there, because then you add a stitch and that's not the idea. So only in the main stitch itself, so really next to that slip stitch join, make a double crochet. And I'm also going to take, whoops, I have another thread here somewhere. Yes, there it is. I'm going to take these threads with me and work them in the process. And by continuing to do so, I do not have to work those ends in. So you can see how I've not done this first piece here. So work a double crochet on every stitch. If you don't start in the join, be mindful not to add a stitch there, and when you get back to the beginning you close with a slip stitch on that first standing double crochet. Round 16. This round we have again a round of single crochets all the way around in each and every stitch. I have a new color yarn on my hook, and you can start in the stitch join or on any other position you choose, because as such it is not critical where you start here. I'm going to start again on a different position. purely because I don't like all my joins in the same place. I'm going to start, like I said, on any arbitrary stitch. I'm going to choose this one here with the standing single crochet, and then make a single crochet on each and every stitch. And you're going to go all the way around and then close to the first stitch with a slip stitch. And then in the next round we're going to start working a star stitch, and that we'll be actually doing over 2 rounds. And that's actually one of my favorite stitches, so I'm really glad that stitch is part of this project. So work a single crochet on each and every stitch, and then close with a slip stitch on that first standing single crochet. Round 17. This round is the first round of the star stitch. I have a new color yarn, and I'm going to attach the yarn just above a corner. So here's a corner, so I'm going to bring this line up and attach it just above the corner. So that way I know for sure that my stars are not going to be halfway around a corner. So I know this here is my join, this here is the join right from the beginning. So this stitch I can bring up, continuously following that line, go up, and then this is the stitch that I need. I'm going to attach my yarn here. So this is the position where the original join was situated, and I'm going to start with a chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Just attach the yarn with a slip stitch and then make a chain 3. Now it does get a little hard to keep this work flat and in front of the camera, so I'll be doing my best. Now to make the star stitch we're going to be picking up 5 loops in total. On the chain 3 we're going to pick up 2 loops, and then also on the next 3 stitches together with the loop we already have on our hook makes 6. So not the first but the second chain, we're going to pick up a loop in there. So in the second chain from the hook, insert and pick up a loop. Then do the same in the third chain from the hook. So this is of course the one closest to your work. You have 3 loops on your hook. And also in the next 3 stitches, so 1, 2, 3 stitches, we're also going to be picking up a loop. That's 1, 2, 3. So the next 3 stitches, that means you in total have 2, 4, 6 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through all 6 loops at the same time. And while I'm doing this, I'm going to be pushing my hook a little bit upwards to really bring some tension on those stitches, because if I do so, my hook won't get snagged here somewhere in between, and then I'll have to do the stitch again. So yarn over and pull through all those stitches at the same time, and chain 1. So chain 1. And this is the first half star stitch made. This is the bottom half of the star stitch. In the next round we're going to be doing the top half. What you made here is the star, and that little circle there created by the chain 1 is called the eye of the star stitch. And in that eye we're now again going to be picking up the first loop. So in the eye, pick up a loop. Then on the loop here, that's the last loop from the previous star, from this star stitch here, you're also going to pick up a loop. On that loop there. In the stitch that contains the last loop from the star stitch, also pick up a loop. So, and on the next 2 stitches, also pick up a loop. That's 1 and 2. That again means you have 2, 4, 6 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through all of them. Chain 1 to create eyelet. And what we've just done, you're going to continue to do and go all the way around. Do not work this too tight, because then you'll notice that everything bulges up a lot. So do give yourself a bit of room while working these bottom stitches. So I'll show you again. In the eye, pick up a loop. In the first loop, pick up a loop, or that last loop I should say. In the last stitch from the previous star stitch, pick up a loop, and on the next 2 stitches that don't contain anything yet, also pick up a loop, yarn over, pull through, chain 1. So now you have 3 star stitches here, or at least the bottom half. I'll do one more. So in the eye, pick up a loop. In the last chain there, pick up a loop. In the last position of that stitch, and on the next 2 stitches, pick up a loop, yarn over, pull through, and chain 1. And you see now you have 4 star stitches there. So you're going to continue like this, picking up 6 loops every time, and when you get to the other side, so right here to the beginning, I'll just show you how to do this last bit here. I've got 2, 4, yes. So on these next 2 stitches, also pick up 2 loops. 6 loops on your hook again, yarn over, pull through, chain 1. So continue like this, and then I'll see you for the end just to show you how to do this bit here. So almost all the way around, I have 2 more star stitches to make, or bottom halves I should say. So in the eye, I pick up a loop on this last loop, the stitch it's currently in, and the next 2 stitches which are empty. 6 loops on my hook, yarn over, pull through, chain 1. And now for the last star stitch, which will be on these 2 stitches here that you still have remaining. So in the eyelet, on the loop, in the stitch that already contains that first star stitch, and on the next 2 stitches, pick up 2 loops, yarn over, pull through all 6, and chain 1. Now before we close to this first part here, we're first going to be making a half double crochet in this last stitch here. So in this stitch, make a half double crochet. And then we're going to close with a slip stitch to the 3rd of these 3 chain stitches here. And I just need to get them a little flat because it's all turned a little bit here. Just need to get into the correct stitch, and that is going to be tricky because it's a little bit knotted here. See, this is the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, so this is the 3rd chain stitch here at the top. Just pick up that loop. And I'm wiggling my needle in there, hook in there. There we go. Yes, there we go. And we close with a slip stitch to that top there. And that is the first half of the star stitch complete. And around 18, we're going to be completing the top half of the star stitch. Round 18, this round we're going to be completing the star stitch because we've just made the bottom, and so now we're going to make the top half. I'm going to start with the chain 2. This does not count as your first stitch, this is just to get you to the correct height. Now we're going to make a half double crochet in the same stitch as where we just joined with the slip stitch. So in that same chain stitch there, make a half double crochet. And there we go. Now we're going to continue onto the star stitches themselves. In each and every eye we're going to make 2 half double crochets. So in the eye, just the eye, work 1 half double crochet and work a second also. And that completes your first star stitch. So you've now got the loops here at the bottom and those at the top. And this is your next eye. Again, work 2 half double crochets in that eye. And you're going to continue like this, work 2 half double crochets in each and every eye until you get all the way around. And then I'll just show you how to do the last bit. So you work 2 half double crochets in every eye and go all the way around. Like so. You can see how you've completed all these star stitches here. Almost round. Have one more star stitch here, so one more eye to make 2 half double crochets in. That's 1 and 2. There we go. Then you have one more half double crochet left, this stitch here. You're going to make a half double crochet on that also. So just 1 half double crochet on that last half double. And then you've completed all your star stitches, and we're going to close with a slip stitch to the top of the first stitch that we made. So that's the chain 2 here. I'm going to just pick it up in this stitch next to it and pull through. Count your stitches, make sure you have 144 half double crochets in total. Be mindful of your stitch, your join here. This only counts as 1, of course, and not 2. So go all the way around, count your stitches, and then you'll see that you have made a lovely pattern here. And this really is my favorite stitch, the star stitch. You'll also have noticed that we worked this second round in the same direction as the star stitch, as the bottom half, I should say, everything in the same direction. Other times you see to turn your work around and work that second round in the opposite direction, but here we chose to work it and with the front of our work facing us. So don't stress that you think, oh, this is wrong. In this case we're doing it the front of our work facing us, so don't worry too much about that. And then you're ready for the next round. Round 19. I have a new color yarn on my hook, and this round we're going to make a single crochet on each and every stitch. You can start wherever you like. As such, the pattern says to start in this same stitch as the join, so that would be this stitch here. I'm going to start at a different position because I don't want my join always at the same place on my bag. So I'm going to choose a different position and any arbitrary stitch for that matter. This stitch here is going to start with a standing single crochet, and then make a single crochet on each and every stitch. And if everything went correct, you'll have 144 stitches, and hence also need to make 144 single crochets. So go all the way around, make a single crochet on each and every stitch, and when you get to the beginning here, you close with a slip stitch on that first stitch. Also be sure to count your stitches here, that you don't accidentally add one somewhere along the line, because that will make your bag bulge, of course. So go all the way around, a single crochet on each and every stitch, and close with a slip stitch in the first standing single crochet. round 20. I'm going to start in the position that we originally had for the slip stitch join. So if I look at this join on my star stitch, that's that stitch there, so it's in line with that join. I have a new color yarn on my hook and I'm going to start with a standing double crochet in the stitch that contains your original join. Start with a standing double crochet. Of course my join isn't situated here because I just skipped position on the last round. But if you have been making your work and stitch this in your join each time, this is where you would be right now. One double crochet followed by a second and a third. That's the back half of the cable. Now we're going to cross over in front, and on this first stitch here, going to enter into that stitch, so the one that's before the standing double, this stitch here, and work a double crochet in that stitch from the position where we are right now. So let's yarn over and then really come round and enter into that stitch from the front. See there, from the front to back, and pick up the loop at the back and bring it to the front. Just keep this tail out of the way, and then now open up your loop because you want your loop to really cover those 3 double crochets. So really make sure you've got a bit of room happening there, that you've lengthened that loop, and then complete the double crochet. So that's through 2 loops and 2 more loops. That is your first cable stitch made. Now we're going to be basically repeating this all the way around. I'm going to start by skipping a stitch and then work 3 double crochets and then come back to that stitch we skipped to make the actual cable, this long double crochet here. So let's yarn over, skip the first stitch, and then in stitch number 2 work a double crochet and 3 and 4. And there we go. And now you're going to come on the front through that stitch we skipped and work a long double crochet. So yarn over, come back and enter into that stitch. I hope you can see that. So I'm going through the stitch from the front to the back, and on the back pick up your loop and bring to the front again, and open up that loop that you really have enough yarn there, so you bring it up to your working position here. So you're making this long loop, and then work a double crochet. So it's yarn over and pull through 2 loops on your hook, and yarn over and through 2 again. And that's your second cable stitch made. And this we've just made done, we're going to repeat that all the way around. I'll show you once more. So yarn over for a double crochet, skip the first stitch, and then in stitches number 2, 3 and 4 you work a double crochet. 2. So you've done 3 double crochets, and now again you're going to come back to that first stitch that you skipped and work a long double crochet in that. So from the front to the back, on the back pick up your loop, bring to the front, give it enough room so that you really have your yarn up on your working level, yarn over, take off 2 loops, and again take off 2 loops. So work a double crochet. And now you've seen how you've made 3 cable stitches here, the first one that's standing and then 2 on the repeat. This repeat here you're going to do all the way around, and when you finish your last repeat, which will be here, you close with a slip stitch on this first standing double crochet. And in theory, if all went well, your last cable will be on your last 4 stitches here, and then you close with a slip stitch. Round 21. This round we're going to work a single crochet on every stitch around. I have a new color yarn on my hook, and I'm going to start with a standing double crochet, and I'm going to do it on the beginning of any 4 double crochets. So on this first one here, I'm going to make a standing single crochet. Then we continue like this and work a single crochet on every stitch around. And when you're completely round, you close with a slip stitch in the first standing single crochet, and then you should of course still have 144 single crochets. So you're going to work, let me just get my yarn untwisted here, a single crochet on every stitch, go all the way around, and then close with a slip stitch in your first standing single crochet. Round 22, I have a new color yarn on my hook, and we're going to start on the single crochet just before the join. You see here's the join from the cable rounds, so on the stitch just before the stitch containing the join. So this is the single crochet in the join and the stitch just before. I'm going to start here with a standing single crochet. Chain 1, then we're going to skip a stitch, that's this one here, that's the stitch that's in the join, and work a single crochet on the next. Chain 1, skip a stitch, work a single crochet. Chain 1, skip a stitch, work a single crochet. And this you're going to continue all the way around. Make a chain 1, skip a stitch, and then a single crochet. Continue like this and go all the way around, and when you get to the beginning you'll still have a chain 1 left, last chain 1, and then you close with a slip stitch on that first standing single crochet. Round 23, again a new color yarn on my hook. In this round we're going to be working single crochets in the chain 1 space that we made in the previous round. I'm going to start with a standing single crochet in the chain 1 space, in this case the chain 1 just before the join, but if you prefer you can of course also start on any other chain 1 position. Start with a standing single crochet, chain 1, then skip the single crochet itself and go to the chain 1 and work a single crochet in there. Chain 1, skip, and in the chain 1 space work a single crochet. And that's your repeat again. So chain 1 and single crochet in the space, skipping the single crochets from the previous round and work only in the space. You're going to continue and go all the way around. When you get to your last one, you're going to work a last single crochet in that chain 1 space, then chain 1 and close with a slip stitch on your first single crochet. And you go all the way around, and you really have a lovely effect with these single crochets very close to but not on top of one another. Round 24. This round is a repeat of round 23, where you're going to work a single crochet in every chain 1 space. I'm going to use the same color yarn for this round. If you're changing your yarn color, you again start with a standing single crochet in the chain 1 space. Because I'm using the same color yarn, I'm first going to go, because I'm in this join, in this single crochet here with the slip stitch join, I'm first going to go with a slip stitch to the chain 1 space that's next to it. Then a chain 1, just to get me to the correct height. Does not count as a stitch. And now I make a single crochet. If you're using a different color yarn than in the previous round, you start with a standing single crochet, and that would be in this single crochet, in this chain 1 space here. Sorry. So, single crochet, chain 1, skipping the single crochet, and in the next chain 1 space again work a single crochet, chain 1, in this space single crochet, and again this you're going to repeat all the way around and close with a slip stitch in your either your first standing single crochet, or if you have the same color like I have, close in that first single crochet, not the chain 1 but the single crochet itself. So you go all the way around and you can really see that your weave pattern is starting to take shape here, and I really like the effect this gives. Round 25, new color yarn on my hook, and we're again going to make a single crochet in the chain 1 spaces and chain 1s in between. I'm going to start with a standing single crochet, and I'm going to start in this stitch here, and the reason for that is that if I take the stitch just before the join, I've moved one position to the left, because remember I moved one position because I used the same color yarn, so that's why I'm going one extra to the right here. Standing single crochet, chain 1, and a single crochet in the next space, chain 1, and in the next space a single crochet. So again you do exactly what you've done before, chain 1s and single crochets in the chain 1 space. You're going to go all the way around, and when you're at the beginning, close with a slip stitch in your first single crochet, your standing single crochet, of course. That's this one here. You see how you get a beautiful weave stitch pattern. So when you've connected all your ends, this is what it looks like at the end of part 3. I want to thank you for watching, and I hope it was a useful video for you.